This is the 5th installment in a series of videos where I document and build an entire Batfleck Batsuit from Ben Affleck's cancelled 2022 Batman movie. In part 5, I'll be working on the gauntlets and elbow pads made entirely from resin and TPU 3D printed material. Let's go. What's up you guys, my name is Mark and welcome to my channel. If you guys are keeping up on this build and enjoying it, please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel or want to see the previous videos documenting this build, you can click the link in the corner of the screen. As I've mentioned before, all the files can be purchased on the Do3D website and I'll have a link in the description below. All the parts displayed here in Mesh Mixer will be printed at home on my Hey Gears resin 3D printer. The remaining highlighted parts will be ordered in TPU using printing services provided by PCBWay. You are more than welcome to just print all the parts at home, but the TPU parts from PCBWay are so clean and amazing, I'm opting to use them instead. It can be quite a bit more expensive going this route, but I think it is worth it. After placing my order, the parts arrived in about 5 business days. PCBWay takes care to package your items carefully and the print quality is always outstanding. The best part is that I don't have to do any post-processing on any of these items. They're ready to be installed just as they come. For the rest of the pieces, I'm using high precision resin from Hey Gears and printing them at 0.05mm layer thickness. The parts are printed at 95% scale to match the rest of the suit. If you don't have a resin printer, that's totally fine. You can print them in PLA or order the parts from PCBWay for about $6 per piece. I like using my resin printer when I can because it significantly cuts down on the amount of post-processing needed. After the items are printed, you can already see how smooth they are and how much sanding they will need compared to a typical PLA printed part. These parts won't need any epoxy, putty, or Bondo to fill in layer lines. A few layers of primer and some sanding will take care of all the visible imperfections. Resin printed parts also have significantly tighter tolerances, so the parts fit together nicely even before sanding. Not to mention, the resin printer I have prints parts twice as fast as my FDM printers. To begin the smoothing process, I start by sanding all the resin pieces with 600 grit sandpaper. I incorporate wet sanding right away because I'm using a finer grit. When using a higher grit size, water can help keep the sandpaper from clogging and provide a smoother overall finished surface. After sanding, each of the pieces are given 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's primer. If you guys don't have a portable spray booth, I highly recommend getting one. It makes spraying inside so much easier. Just ensure you have proper ventilation to get the fumes out of your space and that you always wear a respirator. Once the primer is dry, each part is sanded with 1000 all the way up to 2000 grit sandpaper. Again, water is incorporated to achieve the smoothest finish possible. After sanding, small 7x2mm magnets are installed in each top and bottom portion of the gauntlets. Contact adhesive is used to secure them in place before the parts are painted to help prevent the magnets from popping out in the future. As seen in the concept art from Keith Christensen, certain parts of the gauntlets have a textured surface similar to the cowl, shoulder pads, and chest piece. Delicate surface frog tape is used to isolate the portions of the gauntlets that are to be textured. The easiest way to do this is to stick the tape down and then use a very sharp X-Acto knife to cut where the border should be and peel away the excess. This always provides a really clean edge so paint doesn't bleed through when spraying. 2 layers of textured paint from Rust-Oleum are sprayed on the front and back of the gauntlets, waiting about 5 minutes between coats. The frog tape is removed, being careful not to peel up any of the paint while taking the tape off. I think making some of the surfaces textured adds so much realism and depth to the pieces. All the parts, including the 6 blades on the side of the gauntlets, are sprayed with a few coats of matte black paint from Rust-Oleum. A layer of metallic silver paint from Rust-Oleum is applied to the blades after the black is dry. The rest of the parts get sprayed with matte clear coat while the blades get a gloss clear coat. The last step before assembly is fine detailing. I begin by using a chrome paint pen to color the screws on the top and bottom of each gauntlet. From some of the concept art I've seen online, a few of the buckles on the suit have a weathered gold appearance. So I use a gold paint pen to run along the top and bottom buckles of each gauntlet piece. A small paintbrush and metallic silver acrylic paint is applied in light strokes and small dabs across all the parts. I like to put extra weathering on the edges or any sharp corners that would naturally experience paint chipping. The weathering of the gauntlets took me about 2 hours, but I get pretty particular when it comes to this sort of thing. Black acrylic paint is thinned with some water and brushed over the shiny silver blades. After about 10 seconds, the black paint is rubbed off with a paper towel to create a dirty and dull surface finish. Contact adhesive is applied to the 3 grooves on both gauntlets and the blades are secured into place, being careful not to bump them before they're dry. The small TPU wrist straps will be used to connect the top and bottom gauntlet pieces. Adhesive is run along the inside of the top gauntlet where straps are mounted. The TPU pieces are inserted and left to sit until hardened. The exact same process is repeated on the bottom gauntlet once the wrist straps on the top piece have dried so they don't move when being slightly tugged on. Although the 2 gauntlet pieces are connected by the wrist straps, there is still enough slack to open one side to fit my hand through, kind of like a hinge. A bead of adhesive is run along the inside of each elbow pad and the larger TPU straps are carefully inserted. I had to hold the parts in place for about 5 minutes until the adhesive was tacky enough to keep the straps where I wanted them. Once dry, more contact cement is run along the inside buckle openings and the top and bottom of the gauntlets and the elbow pad straps are slid into place. After being assembled, the gauntlets are a tad big for my forearms. They are pretty loose and slide around quite a bit. However, after adding the shirt and putting on some gloves, they stay in the exact place I want them to because of the gloves' thick wrist straps. For those of you wondering, I got the gloves off Amazon and used the same silver metallic paint to detail them. These gloves are the exact ones I used on my Arkham Knight build, and I love them so much I decided to use them again for this build as well. There are gloves and hand files that come with the suit, but I chose not to print them because I'd need a lot of TPU and it's so much easier and cheaper to just purchase gloves that look cool. After adding the gloves, the gauntlets fit perfectly and I really like the way they feel. They aren't too tight and there's no risk of them falling off. Not to mention, they don't hinder my range of motion. They also look great on the mannequin and it's so exciting to see things starting to come together. Let me know what you think of these gauntlets in the comments below. The next portion of the build will be the abs and lower back, so if you don't want to miss out on that video, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time and stay classy.